Find the coordinates of the points which divide the line segment of the joining A and B into 4 equal parts. So A, B, A point is minus 2 comma 2, B point is 2 comma 8. It is divided into 4 equal parts, P, Q and R. So this is 1 part, 2 part, 3 and 4. So ratio will be equal, all equal, 1 part be different. So you have to find the points P, Q and R. All 4 we have to find. Okay, again I repeat, see, AB is the line segment and it has to be divided into 4 equal parts and find the coordinates for that. Okay, 4 equal parts. So AP is one part, PB is another part, QR is another part, RB is another part. Okay, you have to find PQR. So first I will take the Q point. A, Q and this is B. Here you have 2 parts and here also QB also 2 parts. 2:2, that is 1:1 will be the ratio. So what will be the Q point is x comma y, A point x1 y1, B point x2 y2. Okay. A is minus 2 comma 2, B is 2 comma 8. So what will be the Q point? Q of x comma y will be equal to, it is a midpoint formula because 1:1 is the ratio. So x1 plus x2 by 2 and it is y1 plus y2 by 2. Okay. So Q of x comma y will be equal to x1 is minus 2 plus 2 by 2 and y1 is 2 plus 8 by 2. So what is the Q of x comma y? That is equal to minus 2 plus 2 is 0. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 by 2 is 5. So this is the Q point. Everyone got the same thing? Q point. AQ, in between A and Q, I will take, this is A point, this is Q point. Q point I got 0 comma 5. A point I got 2 minus 2 comma 2. Okay. Now P is in between A and Q. P is in between A and Q. This is also 1:1 ratio. So I will find the P point. P point, P of x comma y will be equal to, again, x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. X1 is minus 2. Minus 2 plus 0 by 2. Okay, this is 2 plus 5 by 2. So we will get as minus 1 comma 7 by 2. So this is the P point. Next you have to find the R point. Write down this. Listen now. Q, R and B. So 1:1 ratio, R is the midpoint. So R of x comma y will be equal to, Q is what? 0 comma 5. What is B point? 2 comma 8. Okay. 0 plus 2 by 2. And this is 5 plus 8 by. So what you will get here? 1. And here it is 13 by 2. This is the R point. Next, we'll go for the next one. Finished? 10th question now. Listen here. Find the area of the rhombus if its vertices are, they've given the vertices and you have to take it in an order. When you are taking the points, be careful that you are taking it in an order. If you change the order, the answer will be different. Okay. So it is a rhombus. If I start from here, A, B, C, D. So A point, it is 3 comma 0. B point 4 comma 5. C, it is minus 1 comma 4. And D, it is minus 2 comma minus 1. So taken in an order, 3 comma 0, 4 comma 5, minus 1 comma 4 and minus 2 comma minus 1. Find the area of the rhombus. So what is the area of the rhombus? Area of the rhombus, that is equal to half into product of its diagonals. Product of its diagonals. Okay. So area of the rhombus is equal to half into product of its diagonals. That is half into AC and BD. AC into BD is that. So you have to find the AC. Here we are using the distance formula only. Okay. So what is AC? It is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So what is AC equal to? 3 minus of minus 1 whole square plus 0 minus 4 whole square you will get. So this is equal to 3 minus into minus plus 3 plus 1 4. 4 square plus minus 4 whole square. 4 square is 16. 16 plus 16. That is root of 32 you will get. Okay. Root of 32. Or 16 into 2, I can take it as 4 root 2. 4 root 2 I will get. Next, BD. So BD is equal to what? Again, it is x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. Okay. X2 minus x1, 4 minus of minus 2 whole square plus 5 minus of minus 1 whole square. So root of minus into minus is plus 4 plus 2, 6. 6 square is 36 plus 5 minus into minus plus 5 plus 1, 6. 6 square is 36. Or it is like root of 36 into 2. That is root 36 is 6. 6 root 2 you will get. Okay. Now this is equal to half into, I'll get 6 root 2 into 4 root. Root 2 into root 2 is 2 and that will cancel with denominator. You will get 6 fours are 24. 24 square units. You will get. So this is the area of the rhombus. Even though it is distance formula is given in this. Okay. So always remember the formula. Area of the rhombus. Area of the rhombus is half into product of its diagonals. Product of diagonals here, diagonals are AC and BD. So half into AC into BD. AC is fine with the distance formula. What is the distance formula? X2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square root of that. Again for BD also calculate BD, multiply, you will get the answer. That is 24 square units. And one thing here means what you have to remember is one is the formula you have to remember. Second one, you have to take it in an order. First, write the rhombus A, B, C, D, you write and write the coordinates in an order. If you change some order, then answer you will get wrong. They will not give marks because starting first step only it will be wrong. Clear now? All this? Okay. So in this chapter, we will study about the tangent of a circle, secant of a circle, and few theorems related to tangent of a circle. Okay. What is that? Okay. So tangent of a circle. Tangent, it is a very important concept. Why it is used is, if any object is moving in a circular uh, path. If consider any object is moving in a circular object, its tangent will give the direction at that point. Okay, its tangent will give the direction at that point. So it is a very important concept which we use here. Okay, so what is a tangent? Tangent is a line which touches the circle at only one point. Okay, tangent, it is a line which touches the circle at only one point of a circle. Okay, so for example, there is one circle, it is the center of the circle, and I will draw a tangent. So tangent will, okay, so PQ is a tangent at point A. PQ is a tangent at point A. So This tangent will touch the circle at point A. At only one point it happens. And actually it gives the direction of the circle at that point. Okay. So that we call it as the tangent of a circle. Okay. Now, what is the secant of the circle? Secant of a circle. For example, PQ here is the secant of the circle. Secant of the circle will intersect the circle at 2 points. Here A and B. If I call that as A and B. So here PQ is the secant of the circle. Secant of the circle means it will intersect the circle at 2 points where A and B is the points. Okay. And in the first circle, PQ is a tangent because it intersects or touches, it is not intersecting, it touches the circle at one point. So it is called as a tangent to the circle. Okay. So in this whole chapter, we will study mainly about the tangent of the circle and problems related to that. Problems related to that. And now, if I draw one line A, this OA, can you tell me OA and PQ, how they are related? OA and PQ. OA is the radius of the circle and PQ is the tangent at point A. So, how they are related, OA and PQ? OA will be perpendicular to PQ. Okay. Okay, listen here now. In the circle, OA is the radius of the circle and PQ is the tangent at point A. So, OA and PQ are perpendicular to each other. OA and PQ are perpendicular to each other. That means the radius and the tangent, they will be always perpendicular to the circle at the point of contact. It will be at perpendicular to each other at the point of contact. Okay. And chord and all what we studied earlier in the 9th standard, this is the chord of the circle. We call this as a chord of the circle. Here, if you consider xy, in the third circle, xy is called the chord of the circle. That is, if it one line which is from the one point of the circle to the another point of the circle. So that line segment we call it as the chord of the circle. It can be all these are also the chord of the circle. All these are chords of the circle which moves from one point, which connects between the 2 points in the circle, then they are called chords of the circle. Whereas the secant is intersecting, that is, it crosses the 2 points. So it is called as the secant of the circle. Whereas the tangent is the one which touches the circle at only one point. Okay. Then we also studied about the segment and sector of the circle. If I draw like this portion, we call it as the segment. If I call this as ABC, ABC is the segment of the circle. Segment means what? A arc of the circle and the chord together makes a segment. Arc of the circle and the chord together makes the segment of the circle. And this is also one segment. If I name this as D, ADB is also a segment because an arc of the circle and the chord makes a one segment of the circle. In this is called minor segment. Okay. And this is called as the major segment. If it covers the major portion of the circle, then it is the major segment. If it is covering the smaller portion of the circle, then it is the minor segment. Then we have the sector of the circle. Sector of the circle means it is with the two radius of the circle and with the arc. Whatever the area is formed with the circle, that is the sector of the circle. Okay. Sector of the circle means if the two radius and the arc makes one portion of the circle, that we call it as center of the circle. So these are the important things what required. Okay. These things we studied in the ninth. Again, I repeat, see in the circles, this chapter is mainly about the tangent of the circle. Okay, some theorems related to it. So what is the tangent of the circle? It is a line which touches the circle at only one point. It is a line which touches the circle at only one point, that we call it as the tangent of the circle. Why it is so important? Because it gives the direction of an object when it is moving in a circular orbit, because it gives the direction of the object when it is moving in the circular orbit. So that is why. See, think one object is moving like this. So it is at point A. So in which direction is that? It is this direction. At every point, direction will change actually for a circular. An object is in circular motion, every point the direction will change. And what is the direction of that? That is the tangent drawn at that point. Okay, so that is the one. Then comes the secant of the circle. Secant means a line will, secant is a line which intersect the circle at 2 points. Secant is a line which intersects the circle at 2 points. Then we have the chord of the circle. Chord of the circle means a line drawn between the any 2 points of the circle. We call it as the chord of the circle. Again, chord of the circle means a line drawn between any 2 points of the circle, that we call it as chord of the circle. Okay. After that, we have segment of the circle. Segment means a area of a portion of the circle. Segment means portion of the circle. Okay. Portion of the circle between the chord of the circle and the arc of the circle, that we call it as the segment. Segment means the area or the portion of the circle between the chord of the circle and the arc of the circle, they call it as the segment. Here, this is the minor segment. Okay, this is the major segment you can get. Major segment is major portion of the circle. Minor segment is the minor portion of the circle. Okay. Then we have the sector of the circle. It is some portion of the circle or area of the circle which is between the two radius, which is between the two radius and the arc of the circle. So this portion we call it as the sector of the circle. Here also you can have minor sector and major sector. This is the smaller portion of the circle. So it is the minor sector. Okay. And this is also between the two radius only and this arc. Correct. So this is also called as the sector, which is a major sector. Okay. Which is a major sector. This is about the introduction part. And another thing, tangent and the radius of the circle at the point of contact makes an angle of 90 degrees. Tangent, see, this is a tangent at this point. If I call this point as X and center as O. So, radius of the circle and the tangent. Okay, radius of the circle and this tangent LM, they make an angle 90 degree at the point of contact, that is X. This is also 90 degree. These are the main common concepts what you have to know about the circle. Clear now? We'll start writing few things about this. Tangent to a circle is a line that intersects the circle at only one point. At only one point. In book they have given intersect. That's why just I wrote it. You can say actually it's a line. uh, Actual word is correct word is touches the circle at one point, but in book they had given like that. Just I wrote the same. Okay. If you want, you can write this point. I'll call it as A. This point is O and P, and this is Q. So PQ is a tangent. PQ is a tangent at point A. Secant is a line which intersects the circle at 2 points. At 2 points. This point, right? Example xy is a secant to the circle. Line joining the 2 points of the circle. 2 points of the circle. Chord of the circle. Next. Sector of the circle. Area between the two radius of the circle. Area between the two radius of the circle and the arc of the circle. And the arc of the circle. So OAB is a sector. Next, segment of the circle. The area between the chord of the circle, between the chord of the circle and the arc of the circle, and the arc of the circle. ABC is a segment of circle. At any point, the tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular. One second. I'll come there. What is this question? Draw the cell and write some functional equations. So, some other points of the the tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius. To the radius through the point of contact. Through the point of contact. Through the point of contact. Okay. Tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius through the point of contact. So here in this theorem, the tangent at any point of a circle. So xy is a tangent here. Okay. So xy is a tangent, and you have to prove that the tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius. So OP is perpendicular to the tangent xy through the point of contact. That is, point of contact is P. Correct. So at the point of contact, it is perpendicular. You have to prove this. Okay. So any perpendicular line, it is the shortest distance between the any two points. Correct. A perpendicular line will be the shortest distance between the any two points. So here we are trying to prove that OP is the shortest distance we can draw. So to the xy. That means what? It should be perpendicular. That's how we are trying to prove. Again, I repeat, say tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius through the point of contact. XY is the tangent, OP is the radius. At the point of contact is P. So at that point, the angle is 90 degree. That is, they are perpendicular. You have to prove. So a perpendicular distance, which is the shortest distance between the any two points. So here, if you prove that OP is the shortest distance for XY, you can't draw any other line shorter than the OP. That means we have proved that OP is perpendicular to XY. Okay. Write down this proof. Consider a circle. Okay, right. Yeah, it will come. Many times I've seen it come. It's a proof only, no? You're telling it as a shortest distance, maybe not in the mathematical way you're explaining. Yeah. But they will give this. I've seen many times this question coming in the exam. Huh? Ah. So easy, no? You don't have much go into the circle at a point P. to the OP perpendicular to X line. Okay. Write down. Take a point Q on X line. Write down this. Huh? Easy, no? Easy proof. You should be happy. OQ is greater than OP. Hence, OP is the shortest distance, right? The OP is the shortest distance. Shortest distance of the point O to X. Therefore, therefore, OP is perpendicular. OP is perpendicular to X. Okay. So what is telling? Uh, Let us consider another point Q, so that we'll check whether OQ can be shorter than OP. Okay. Since we are telling it is a tangent. Okay. So since we are telling it's a tangent, you can't have any other point on the surface. Correct? Tangent will touch the circle at only one point. So you can't have OQ and OP on the same thing. And if it becomes a OQ is inside that, then what happens? It becomes a secant, correct? So that is why OQ should be outside the circle itself. Since we are telling it's a tangent, on the circle you can have only one point. You cannot have 2 points. So OQ is outside the circle itself. That means OQ should be always greater than OP. Correct? So OP is the shortest distance from O point to XY tangent. What does it mean? OP is perpendicular to XY. Okay. So this is a 2-mark question. Many times it will come. Whenever you want to write the proof, first write the diagram, and this theorem you write. Statement you have to write. Here we will end the today's class. Do not forget to subscribe the channel. If the content of this channel is useful, please like the video and share with your friends. Thank you.